This changes everything for the Dallas Cowboys as we have new injury updates on Trevon Diggs and Tyler Guyton ahead of tonight's game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Along with a preview of this matchup, we have some key points for Dallas to secure a dub on the first game of the 2025 NFL season. Welcome into Cowboys Digest, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. Happy game day to all that celebrate. We are happy you chose to join it here with us. Quick reminder, we're going to have a stream tonight for the game. We'll have scoreboard, play-by-play, stats, and a fun environment to watch the game as well. So if you're coming, want to join us, we're going to be live about 30 minutes before game time. So come on, we're welcoming any and all, and we're going to watch the Cowboys beat up on the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's talk some game right now. Obviously, Trevon Diggs and Tyler Guyton, they were talks of the town for a couple of different reasons. You want them to be available come week one. The question was whether or not they were going to be ready. It seems like they are. The Cowboys got some great news from Todd Archer of ESPN saying, quote, after trending in the right direction during the week of practice, Dallas Cowboys quarterback Trevon Diggs and left tackle Tyler Guyton carry no injury designation into Thursday's season opener against the Philadelphia Eagles and will be available to play. That's great news just from the get-go. Having both those guys on the field makes this team a world of a lot better, especially Trevon Diggs. But the big question you're probably asking, and kind of was asked, is how much are they going to be able to play? Now, we talk about here with Trevon Diggs first, Todd Archer saying, quote, he was activated off the PUP list on August 24th and has been able to get 2 weeks of practice in, taking snaps with the first-team defense as well as the scout team to improve his conditioning. He said Monday that he believed he had a 75 to 80% chance of playing after feeling good. There's a couple of different ways to kind of look at this. First thing with Trevon Diggs being added, you want to play him in a certain manner so that you do not injure him furtherly, especially with the season just starting. So, with that being said, we kind of have an interesting takeaway here from Todd Archer, which I believe will be the way the Cowboys use him. He says, quote, Diggs might work as the Cowboys' third quarterback Thursday and play in passing situations with Teron Bland moving into the slot. The Cowboys will monitor his snaps, which could lead to Reddy Stewart seeing some work in the slot as well. End quote. Smart move by Dallas. Obviously, you want to see Trevon out there every single play, but unfortunately, with the injury he has had and it coming off of everything, you really don't want to risk anything. He's only had 2 weeks of practice, hasn't had any true, really game experience. So glad we got those practices, but I think for now it's a very good thing to just keep him in a little bit of a looser situation and not have to feel like we have to play him every single down. For Tyler Guyton, it's a little bit more of a hard situation because at left tackle, you have Nate Thomas as your backup, but if you're going to put Guyton out there, he's going to play at least the entire series. I would have to expect the best way to go about this is play him one series, play Nate Thomas the other series, but sometimes that can disrupt the rhythm of the offense. Maybe we see something where it's Guyton in the first quarter, second quarter is Nate Thomas. I think there could be a way where they're going to basically say, you're going to do a drive or a quarter, and then we're going to switch out so you get a little bit of rest, and that way we're getting a little bit of stress off that bone fracture in his knee. That was once feared to be a torn ACL, so we don't want to get anywhere close to that ever again. With that being said, Trevon Diggs is such a huge piece because I want to talk about some keys for the Dallas Cowboys tonight to come out with a win. And the first one involves Trevon Diggs because you have to keep both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith at bay. You can't see it there, but they have over 240 combined yards for them last season versus the Dallas Cowboys. And funny enough, in the first game, it was A.J. Brown who hurt us with over 100 yards receiving. In the second game, it was Devontae Smith who hurt us. He had 140 yards receiving in that second game. Now, last year's Dallas Cowboys team, the vibes were off. There was different things going on, and I want to put stats in there from last year just because these are similar players that are on both sides. But at the same time, I say that precautiously because this is a different Cowboys team. There are different expectations, and overall, there's just a different vibe around the Dallas Cowboys. I do, however, believe that Devontae Smith is the bigger key in this. Last season, he had an impressive year, 834 yards across 13 games. Didn't get to play in all of the regular season games due to some injuries, but he is the key for the Eagles more than A.J. Brown because A.J. Brown's going to get his own. We are going to see him catch passes. You have to be okay with understanding that, just not allowing him to get the deep ball. With Devontae Smith, it's very different because if he can get going, he can hurt you in a lot of different ways because then you have to worry about two receivers. So I am kind of curious how the Cowboys decide to use their safeties and cornerbacks against this deep threat. You obviously have Saquon Barkley down low and Jalen Hurts with his legs, so we'll talk about them in just a second. But I think if you can find a way to stop Devontae Smith, make him have a lousy game for all intents and purposes, you have a way better shot at winning it than if you keep somebody else out there. Because if you look at their other star players, A.J. Brown, Saquon, Jalen, they're going to get their own. If you can silence Devontae Smith, that's one guy that you do not have to worry about. And you can silence Devontae Smith. It's a little bit harder to do that with Saquon and then the rest of the bunch that I just mentioned. So that is key number one. In terms of key number two, same thing for the Dallas Cowboys. Your wide receiver room is so important. You got to get your wide receivers going early with both Pickens and Lamb. And this is the best part about adding George Pickens, because I just mentioned the key wide receivers for the Philadelphia Eagles. You're thinking about Devontae Smith, but you also got to worry about A.J. Brown down there. Maybe flip-flop that in the way I worded it, but with the Dallas Cowboys, they can now kind of have that similar threat where CeeDee Lamb is in the back of your mind in that under route, but is George Pickens down deep? Is that safety, not losing a step on George Pickens? There's ways that the Cowboys can now have their offense be multifaceted in the passing game. We haven't gotten to say that over the past couple of years. I mean, there's been some electric receivers. I'm not going to say that there hasn't been times where that has not been the case for the past couple of years, but in terms of having Brian Schottenheimer as the coach, the way he has mentioned and managed the way this offense is going to run, unfortunately, it was very vanilla in the preseason game, so I expect a lot of new things tonight, and overall, it's a good time to break out these plays because you're a new head coach, you're trying to put your skills on there, and whether they like it or not, there was a wide variety of NFL fans laughing at the Dallas Cowboys when we hired Coach Brian Schottenheimer. So it's just time to go out there and maybe make a mockery of those guys. And Pickens is such a huge deal. He was by far, to me, the biggest offseason addition for the Dallas Cowboys. 103 targets last season, 894 yards. This was in an offense that I don't think valued him as much as the Cowboys are going to. Also, Arthur Smith is absolutely delusional over there in Pittsburgh, so I don't trust his offensive coordinator skills whatsoever. 14 games in last season, 103 targets, 59 receptions. I would like the receptions to target ratio be a little bit better, but I think in the same way that Arthur Smith was Dumbo, it wasn't exactly the easiest pass-catching abilities for George Pickens. We obviously know the attitude issues were there, but seems as though this season is a very new and matured George Pickens from his days in Steelers land, or even if you want to go back further to when he was playing with the Georgia Bulldogs in college. Moving on to our third key here. It's a big one, and I've got an interesting kind of side note to this. Key 3 is you have to be able to stop the run. You have to be able to. Saquon Barkley is going to be on the other side of you, and he is going to be running the ball down your throat at the times. This was a big thing that Jerry Jones focused on the Micah Parsons trade, saying, hey, we need to stop the run. We have not been able to do that since we drafted Micah. We have to stop him. So he got Kenny Clark, a defensive tackle, who is going to make his Cowboys debut tonight. I have a hard time saying we're going to stop Saquon Barkley, but there is a difference in stopping Saquon Barkley and stopping a lesser-known back. A stopping of Saquon Barkley means he's getting less than 100 yards rushing and maybe just one touchdown. That's how good Saquon Barkley was last year, and if you can get anywhere below that, you're feeling very confident. Now, the rushing touchdown, you always know the tush-push is there, so who knows whether Saquon will get a touchdown if we can get about the one, and they'll just push themselves in, whatever. Does not matter at that point, but Saquon Barkley is something that concerns me, but I again go back to the fact that you have to understand, especially in games like these, with a defending Super Bowl champion who is going to be, on high alert. They don't want to lose in that first game. Obviously, Nick Sirianni, he made some good moves last year. Saquon Barkley was the engine that ran this team, but I still believe he's going to get his own, and you can't control that. You can control it to an extent, but he's going to get his own. So you understand below 100 yards is a win for the Dallas Cowboys. If you can get below 80, you're feeling like the top of the world. So no big runs, no big breakaways, no big plays for Barkley. Going to help out your team a lot, and it's a real test for Jerry Jones. I mean, I can't expect Kenny Clark to just come in here and stop the run, but at the same time, that was a huge reason why he made the Micah Parsons trade and quoted getting Kenny Clark to help stop the run and a Pro Bowler asset. The PFF grades for Kenny Clark don't speak the same, but that's not for me to talk about right now and for me to watch tonight. So, exciting thing there. If we continue on and kind of go back to Key number 4, we go to key number 4 here as we go back and say, have one of your running backs take off in some way. Now, it's an all new faces running back room this year for the Dallas Cowboys, and you'd really like for one of them to maybe make a name for himself and really go out there. Now, in terms of depth chart, this is not out of the ordinary, especially for NFL teams in week 1, to put their rookie running backs who maybe have high expectations, maybe don't, at the depth 3 spot, which is what the Cowboys have right now. Javonte Williams is going to be the main. I'm not going to call him a bell cow back just because I do believe the reps will be split pretty evenly between him and Jaden Blue. I'm curious to the extent Miles Sanders will be used in this game. I think if Phil Maffa was healthy, Miles Sanders would not be on the roster. Different talking point, and I'm sure we'll see him, especially Sanders, against his former team, the team that really built his glory in a lot of ways. He did not perform well in Carolina and performed really well in Philadelphia. It's probably the reason why he's still in the NFL is his performance with the Philadelphia Eagles and how really dominant he was for a little bit of time there. So got to get one of those guys going. I would expect probably for it to be Javonte, just in the way they're going to use him in tonight's game, but you never know. Jaden Blue, as a rookie, this would be a perfect time to say, hey man, I'm here, and I am fighting for that RB1 role. The ankle injury kind of knocked him out of training camp and preseason in a way that we didn't expect or want. Now is his time to shine. And then finally, key number 5 for the Dallas Cowboys, let Dak cook. You need him to get the team going. And a couple of different stats that I want to bring up here. We first go to Dak Prescott versus the Philadelphia Eagles in his career. 9-4 versus Philadelphia. However, I'll add this caveat. In terms of games at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, it is a 3-3 record for him. So that just tells you how good the record is in AT&T Stadium. However, this game is not in AT&T Stadium. You're playing the defending Super Bowl champions who are getting their rings, who are getting their banner, who are getting all the noise in the news, and you have to go in there and make your own energy. Make your own energy, and you're going to be able to get up for this game, but you got to block out the rest of the noise around you. So that's step 1. In terms of week 1 in his career, Dak Prescott has a 4-5 record. I believe it is time to get that to 500 today. I believe it is time for Dak Prescott to come back and say, listen, I understand that my career has been a series of mounds and valleys, and I have a high year one year where I'm up across the MVP rankings, and the next year I cannot throw a pass to save my life. We are on the up this year. This should be the year that Dak Prescott has that upward trend, and it can start tonight against the Philadelphia Eagles. So that is a huge thing. Yeah, 4-5 in week 1. Big thing, 9-4 versus the Philadelphia Eagles in his career. It's a huge thing. For our Cowboys question of the day, I gave you 5 keys. I want you to give me your key to the game for tonight's contest between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. I want to know your thoughts, and of course, make sure you join us for our live stream tonight. Scoreboard, stats, fun times, play-by-play. We're going to be talking ball all night long, and I really would appreciate it if you join us here. We're going to keep doing them for a majority, or at least most of the games this season. So come along, join us, and as always, we do appreciate all the love and support that y'all have been showing us. The subscribers have gone up way faster than maybe even I anticipated, and we're going to keep going here, keep giving you the latest Cowboys news, updates, rumors, and information. So with that being said, we'll see you tonight for game time, and we'll see you then. Peace out, guys.